What's up, boot addicts? So in today's video I noticed another very special pair of boots for sale. This pair of boots is some Vibergs that I spotted on the Himmel Bros website. So this is going to be the Viberg Himmel collab 1915 Canadian Infantry boot. And I found these boots quite interesting because, as always, I'm a little bit of a history buff. Both my grandfathers were in the army and fought in the wars, one in World War II, one in the Korean War. And so I've always been drawn and fascinated to different types of service boots, and especially this one seems to really strike a strong chord with the history aspect of why I love service boots so much. So this is going to be the 1915 Canadian Infantry boot. Toronto, Victoria. Very cool. They even designed their own logo for this release. So this is going to be a limited edition custom designed boot collaboration with Viberg for Himmel Bros. Order now before they sell out. So this is going to be available in 2 full tan Italian horsebutt leathers in a limited run of 80s boots designed after Canadian Army officers' dress boots from World War I. The boot represents our take on the ideal military footwear. We've selected each element of the boot to reflect both authentic manufacturing from the 1915 pattern and created the construction and toughest materials available from that era. Italian work shoe horsebutt is available in 2 versions. This extraordinarily tough leather is replicated in a smooth chocolate brown and a military black Scotch pebble grain for complete accuracy to the period. Used during World War I in the Canadian Infantry, we selected this leather because it best matched the original deadstock boot drawn directly from Brett Viberg's personal collection. These boots will be produced in an extremely limited run, where there will be 30 pairs made in the chocolate brown and 50 pairs made in the black pebble finish. Order now to ensure your pair is reserved. Using the 2040 last, the pattern and shape is as good as an adaptation of the original boot for our modern tribe infantry. A soft toe and unique silhouette even among Viberg's diverse range. This eye for detail combined with their excellence in production is the reason that Viberg is so renowned as a boot maker. These boots were built for authenticity, inside and out, in construction and style to replicate the original 1915 Canadian Infantry boot. And so you can select chocolate horsebutt down here or black pebble horsebutt down here. They're fully stocked in sizes 6 through 12, and I recommend a full size down from Brannock and another half size down from your standard US boot. So like a half down from Red Wing, a half down from Thorogood. So as for sizing, the infantry boot is available in Viberg sizing. Please use this page on the Viberg site to select your correct size. One width is available. In general terms, narrow at the heel and wide in the forefoot. Widths are equivalent to a double E in other boot brands, but will likely fit all feet from the widest to the narrowest. You cannot change your size once the boot is in production, so make sure or call Viberg to confirm your sizing. On the Brannock device, I'm a size 9, and I recently discovered that, yes, I am a size 8 in Viberg. I treat Viberg as UK sizing, so you go a full down. I wore a half size down for many years comfortably, but I find that the full size down to 8 in Viberg is what I want. So I did just recently pick up some 2040 lasted Vibergs in brown oiled chinky horsebutt, and I have to say, yes, they are phenomenal. They're the correct size for me. Alright, details. This boot uses Goodyear channeled welted construction, hand-filled with cork. This process on ancient machines was revived in the 1960s Viberg tradition. A 5.5mm French oak pit-tanned insole is the secure chassis. The leather stacked heel is also the same tough pit-tanned leather. Every boot is full brass nailed and tacked. There is a solid wood shank, and with the channeled insole and soft toe, they will mold to your foot. High stitches per inch, outsole stitching similar to a classic dress boot using 100% cotton top thread. Viberg's Goodyear channeled welted construction with high stitch count stitching. Goodyear welted channeled insole using the original process seen in the 1960s vintage Viberg boots. Italian full vegetable tan chocolate colored horsebutt, traditional vintage style lugged corded sole with excellent traction. Italian full vegetable tan night black Scotch traditional pebble grain traditional all leather sole with a cat's paw heel. 8 AA eyelets, Viberg's 2040 last. All sole leather is 1 year pit tan French leather. Includes canvas, dust bag, leather, and waxed laces. So here's a shot of the leathers next to each other. Wow. A very classic brown and a very nice embossed Scotch grain pattern on the black. Pebble Scotch grain. Yeah, wow. Unreal. I love the plain toe look. That will be true to the time, true to the era. It's got 8 all eyelets. They look really sharp with the flat wax cotton laces. We can see a really fine high SPI Goodyear welt stitch. They're going to be unlined. You can see in here. That 2040 is just a gorgeous silhouette. I know that the 2030 is Viberg's sort of flagship last, but the 2040 is more rounded out in the toe, less almond shaped. Just a beautiful silhouette for a service boot. I love these raw cord Dr. Sole soles. Another thing I really appreciate about Viberg is this back heel block. It's all one piece, so the heel counter is comprised of both a heel counter and a back heel strip, which is all one piece, and they just double stitch that onto the back. The black Scotch grain is very attractive. I have a couple pair of boots in Scotch pebble grain, and it is very durable. It's a lot less prone to showing its wear because of all the added texture on there. Unlined, very nice, more breathable. Ooh, I really like on the black pair, appears to be a leather sole. Yeah, on the black pair, that's a leather sole, not a raw cord sole, which I like. Now, the black pair does have a cat's paw heel, which is classic. John Lofgren uses those too. They're very popular on engineer boots. So they have a Viberg stitch on the left boot and a Himmel Bros logo on the right boot. These look really awesome sitting on a wooden crate like this. Really gives it a military aesthetic, reminiscent of that trench boot, that World War II, World War I trench boot look. Oh, cool, and there's a Viberg Himmel Brothers t-shirt as well. Viberg and Himmel, Toronto, Victoria. Wow. Yeah, there's the soldier it's modeled after. 2040 service boot. Oh, cool. They have a white t-shirt as well. Wow, they really went all out on this release. I'm amazed. Both amazed and impressed by this release. To sort of piggyback off this, I do some research here and there, and I actually found on the shoegazing website, they have a really cool article about the military's effect on the shoe industry, and there's some really cool vintage military boots on this website. In particular, this is what I think Viberg, this model. Now, there's, believe it or not a lot of information on the internet with well-cataloged military boots, but this is a 1918 version of the trench boot, later transformed into the service boot. This is what I believe Viberg would have modeled these boots after, if I had to hazard a guess. What's really neat is they have these hobnail soles, which would have given them a lot of traction, made them very durable. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eyelets, all eyes up to the top. Looks unlined, and yeah, the sole looks like a leather sole with hobnails in there. That's one hell of a boot right there. So the service boot is a front runner in the workwear boot segment today. It is in fact a military boot from the beginning. It has its base in a derby boot type, which sort of was the standard in the 1800s and early 1900s in many armies around the world, with different variations. The original service boot had a different name, though it was called trench boot. In 1918, General John Pershing of the U.S. Army made changes to the predecessor, the russet marching shoe, among other things, with thicker leather, a more waterproof construction, a triple thick sole, iron toe cleats. The trench boot, sometimes also called the Pershing boot after its enabler, was developed further during the later parts of the war and named the service boot, or service shoe, was established. Around the same time, brands like Canadian Viberg made versions of the boot type specialized as proper work boots. Another given boot model here are jumper boots. Interestingly, the type of boots that we see go under this name today isn't that similar to the original military boot with this name. In a way, it's more similar to what traditionally goes under the name ammunition boot, but that name is basically gone today for common footwear. The original jumper boot's proper name was jump boot, and it was a high lace-up derby boot with brogued cap toes, which the U.S. paratroopers used during World War II. They were made to give extra ankle support for rough parachute landings and were designed by Lieutenant Colonel Yarborough. At this time, it was rare with ankle-high full leather boots. Towards the end of World War II, this boot was replaced with the M1943 combat boot, which had the upper part lacing removed and instead a double buckle strap was covering the calf. Wow, look at those. Yeah, so these are traditional jump boots by the landless gentry. So these are really cool because these remind me of my Alden jumper boots with the perforated cap toe. They make a lot of jumper boots in both black and color 8 shell cordovan on the very last. That's a very popular style with eyelets. Obviously it doesn't go up this high. Those are typically 6-inch boots. So this would have been inspiration for our modern jumper boots by Alden. Alright, and I thought this was cool. This is on a site called Militaria Zone, and these are World War I British Army officer leather boots. They are soled, but what's cool about these is they have the hobnail soles on there. Get a good look at them here. Very nice, very interesting. Wow. Crazy. Quick release eyelets all the way up. See, they knew what was going on. So yeah, standard eyelets down here, and then quick release all the way up. That would have almost come to your knee. Structured toe box, hobnail soles. And what's cool about these is we've got the Norwegian split toe right here that Alden uses. Looks like a hand-sewn mock to me. The eyelets really come close to each other. Better get your size right on those, but yeah, those hobnail. Viberg, if you're listening, please do a hobnail release. I want some hobnail boots. I will buy them. Alright, so anyways, guys, that'll do it for now. What do you think about this Viberg Himmel Bros 1915 Canadian Infantry Boot collab? I am quite impressed. I think that they managed to stay true to the era while using modern, well, at the same time using modern materials, modern building techniques, a little bit more of a refined modern last, but ultimately these almost look more true to the era than the boots from the era itself, I think. So I'm impressed. I will leave links to these boots in the description below. You can click that and check those out if you'd like. If I had to pick one pair, I'd probably go for the black Scotch grain myself, but I think they're both just killer. I hope you guys enjoyed this little trip down history lane. I learned a thing or two. What do you guys think? Is there anything that you could add to this discussion? Are there any good websites that have like a good catalog of World War I and II service boots? I have a hard time tracking them down myself. So what I showed in this video was the best I could find. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Please leave me your thoughts in the comments below. And anyways, stay tuned. I've got a lot more videos coming up. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see y'all in my next video.